center events using local media. So that's my involvement. I've been honored to work with Carla and Irene and Leah, and it's been a wonderful experience. As far as me personally, this is I'm a double dipper. This is our second tour in North Andover. When we got married in '62, we lived in Lawrence for 3 years and then moved on to Marion Drive in North Andover, then over to Sutton Hill Road, and then our kids were raised and educated here. We left in '88, and we came back 6 years ago. So we've been on Sutton, excuse me, Great Pond Road for the past 6 years. So that's me in a nutshell.
Well, great. Thank you, Joe. And again, we look forward to having you as part of our group.
What's that?
As well.
I'm not sure where that Okay, I'm not sure where the background noise is coming from. See if we can find it. Moving on, I had alerted everyone that, you know, if we have time, it'd be nice to have us introduce ourselves to Joe. And I'll hold that off until the end. If there's time at the end of our meeting, we might do that. If not, we do have the introductions, as Tracy had mentioned to me, reminded me when we did it back in July at our meeting, and that's posted up on the board. So it's always possible to listen to that tape and hear what, you know, the others.
Public is it to get it through this way. All right, just 1 second. Council on Aging, correct?
So after in-person meetings, we don't have to worry about being recorded on local TV.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to edge up. Keep it active.
So as he's getting ready, we are at the point where we will do the minutes. You've all gotten the minutes to look them over. And I'll just ask if any that they see, and then we can just approve the minutes and get on with our meeting.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Hang on, guys. We're almost up.
Okay. Is there a second to the minutes?
I'll second it, Maria.
So Dave moved we accept the minutes as submitted to all of us, and Maria seconded it. Any discussion on that? Well, so just ask, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? So the minutes of the last meeting are approved as submitted to us all. Is Cam, are you on now? Are we ready?
I'm trying to get this image up to cover you guys so that the call's not viewed to the public. I apologize. Like I said, the more you rush, the longer technology seems to take. Oh man.
Does this meeting have to end by 10 o'clock? Because we're already way behind.
No. I mean, it's inconvenience for your schedule, and I apologize. But no, you're not under any time constraints on us.
Well, the plan for us is to end at 10 o'clock.
Okay. I am.
When you get set up, who's going to be visible? Oh.
No, I have a graphic that's covering you guys like normal.
Okay. So okay.
voter. Okay, we are going. All right, you are clear to go. I apologize. You are unmuted to the public and ready to go.
Okay, so we're at the Council on Aging meeting on Tuesday, November 10th. And to begin the agenda, we would be having some reports and updates from the various groups. Irene is sitting down. I think it would be good if we would let her get her ears on. Irene, I'm just saying, as we begin the reports, I think it would be good to begin with you and the staff doing your report. All of us, we've seen the statistical report that was mailed out with the agenda. And you've had a chance to look at that. And you see a lot of activities happening and just been changes in some. But since we're not down in the center and we don't see daily what's going on, it's great to have Irene and Carla here that could let us know what's happened in the past month and to give us an update and report. So Irene, you ready to get started? If you're speaking, I think you're still muted.
If she's on the phone, it would be star 6 to unmute.
Can you unmute? I'm not hearing you, Irene. No.
On one of the phone calls from before, meetings before, we had to update Carla's machine. So Irene might need to call in if her computer is not updated. It's something we stumbled across. I told IT about it the other day. So Irene may want to call in if she can't unmute.
Well, she was on originally.
Yeah.
When I hover over Irene, it says Irene has been muted by Lawrence Smith.
Oh.
Can anybody hear me?
No.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Sorry,
All right,
Joe.
Now
Sorry. Go
now
ahead.
suddenly my machine, everything's blinking on and off on my machine. I don't know who's pushing buttons or what's going on here.
Joe Nahill, just to let you know, this doesn't always happen. It never happens. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing mute buttons flashing on,
Oh,
flashing
shit.
off, just popping up and down.
Oh, God.
Everything was good till Cam showed up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
He showed up 10 minutes late.
Is there any thought of going back to in-person meetings with the appropriate distancing?
I hope.
We had thought that might happen even with the committee that I put together last week, but when the numbers jumped, Irene and I thought that it would not be permissible by the town.
Well, we had voting there. All these people coming in and out. Why can't we have a meeting there?
Well, I don't make the rules.
I know. You know me. I always have to say that about face-to-face meeting.
At this point, it's funny. I'm not even sure what's going on. I keep seeing things flashing on my screen. I don't even see Irene anymore.
Oh, gee. Well, maybe we should go on to something else and then come back to Irene.
Well,
Oh, wait, there
no,
she is.
n-
There she
now
is.
There she is, Miss
now I
America.
see Irene and Carla at one machine together. Yeah, we could ask somebody else to speak, but then a lot of people are gonna, well, some people, I guess, would miss that. I mean, Dave is on, he can probably tell us a bit about Finance Committee and his
I can make two
commission
short
on.
reports. I can make two short reports.
uh, You can, Irene is still putting up her hands like nothing's working. You know, it was working, now it, you know, ever since camp came on, things stopped
That's right.
working. So I don't know what's going on.
If you'd like, I can make two quick reports and maybe Irene will get it worked out by then.
Good idea.
Yeah, try it, see what,
Okay, I can tell you that last Thursday, the Finance Committee had their first meeting. And the first act was to formally appoint yours truly as the chair of the Finance Committee. And so now it's in the minutes and that's been done. They had done it earlier by email, but that seemed to be appropriate to affirm. We had some discussion related to some fundraising events and the problems that COVID has presented related to those things. Also, we went into considerable discussion about relationship with the Friends of the Senior Center, and we need to strengthen that relationship. And I promised to be in touch with the president and work things out from there and report at our next meeting. We also had a brief discussion about the budget process, but realized we need to get some orientation from Irene, and she was away last week. And our bylaws call for us to be involved in that budgeting process and at least knowledgeable about it so we can interpret it to the full council. And we'll try to do our best to make that happen. The other thing I can report is that the first meeting of the commission on, and I'm not going to get the full name, but you'll see it in print because first thing we did is change it. The original name that the select board had used had the letters of DIE as division, inclusion, equity. And we decided that would be reversed a little bit and could be much better acronym. And so we did that. We had 16 of the 18 people online. All of us are pretty much strangers to one another. I think I was probably the only person over 50 on that commission. And I will tell you that I'm considerably over 50. But it's a young group. It's very diversified. And it'll be interesting to see where that goes. At this point, we've barely touched the surface. We spent a lot of time sort of talking about where we come from and what our backgrounds have been. So there's two quick reports.
all right, thank you, Dave. It looks like there's something happening there. Anybody have any questions or comments to Dave? If
I have a
not,
question. I have a
Go ahead.
question.
Tracy?
Dave mentioned fundraising events. I thought the fundraising is a role of the Friends, not the board.
Yes.
Well, we talked about that, and it is the role of the Friends to do that. But part of where we started from is, are they considering anything? And how do we work with them to encourage them to move forward on some of that? Because we do know there'll probably be some needs related to the new facility and other things.
Yeah, just to add to that, when I look at the bylaws for our Council on Aging, it seems to be pretty clear in the bylaws that the Friends is a corporation, a not-for-profit corporation, and that the intent was that the Friends would be involved in fundraising for Elder Affairs Senior Center. and that our council would be supportive of that, but that the Friends were specifically charged with that kind of thing. Any other comments, questions?
Well, does the council have an official member that is assigned to be a liaison to the Friends?
No,
It
actually,
doesn't-
the Friends have been sort of invisible, and we're trying to reestablish some of that.
Yes. Irene was going to be getting me a copy of the bylaws for the Friends, so I haven't seen exactly what that structure is. All I know is that in the bylaws for our group, which Irene gave me last year, that I see that there's a relationship with the Friends, but that the Friends are a not-for-profit group that's able to raise funds.
This is Maria. I attended a few of the Friends meetings. Well, a lot of the Friends meetings, because there's nobody from our board that was in attendance. So I just sat in, as a person, actually. I'm not part of that Friends board. So it started with a lot of people on the board. Then it ended up with hardly anybody on the board. So of the Friends. So that's what happened toward the end. So I don't know what's going to go on now.
No, but Dave is looking to that, and part of the finance committee work will be to investigate that and come to some clarity, and then we'll hear more about that as time goes on.
Yes, good.
Okay. Is anybody else that can hear and speak have any report to offer at the moment? I see Carla is nodding, but she's on mute on my machine.
I can't hear her either.
And it looks like she's not able.
Okay, I apologize. Irene and I are sitting across from each other, so I'm trying to cue her and vice versa, and she's trying to cue me. She is
Okay.
on the in the meeting on a phone now, so she should
Okay.
be able to speak.
All right, Irene, can you talk?
Are you unmuted on your phone?
No, right.
Larry, do you have the power of administration so you can unmute her?
If I do, I'm not aware of it. All I see is all kinds of things flashing.
Okay, can you hear me, Larry?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can't see you. I have no idea. My system crashed, and it says I have to go through all my settings.
I
So
know
I don't know what.
Yeah, I know up until today, it was always Leah that was doing that. And without her here, I'm not sure how the administration has been set up.
No, I mean that Leah just made sure we were connected with Brian. It's nothing to do with the computers within our office.
No.
So I don't know what happened. It's saying that my settings are all off. I don't know why it's saying that. So anyway. So let's just proceed. I'll stay on the phone.
Okay, so you want to tell us what's going on, Irene? Or give us your report?
Well, the last 2.5 weeks, the senior center has been pretty much shut down because of early voting was here. So we were completely working from our upstairs offices or our homes, and that the food distribution site was completely disbanded. We did get a group of bags out to the housing just before we had our last opportunity to do that. So now we are back up and running. Food distribution site is up and running. Deanna DiZaglio was able to find us bags. I had purchased some bags through Amazon, and they weren't what we needed. And I called Deanna DiZaglio, and she had a contact at Market Basket, which is a bag that I've never seen before at Market Basket, but it's very similar to the Shaw's bag that we received. And we got 2,500 of them. So we will be using that to put together, we'll be doing a bag on Tuesday next week. We're not doing anything this week because we have the veterans meal on Wednesday, and we have our volunteers coming in to cook that meal, and the Meals on Wheels drivers will be distributing that meal. And we did have a meeting with, we had a meeting yesterday with the committee from Royal Crest and Community Development, that they wanted our input on the new development that's going to go in at Royal Crest. It's 5 to 10 years down the road. So we're not putting any eggs in any baskets right now. We're just waiting to see what happens there. What else is going on? I think that's about it on this end here.
Okay.
Are you
Anybody
hearing me? Are you hearing me?
I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes.
On the veterans meal on Wednesday
Yes.
and the Meals on Wheels, are they just
Yes.
distributing them to veterans, or what is it going to a lot of
They go out. Yes, it goes out. We're sending out about 100 meals. It's American chop suey, a cookie, and a roll. And we've done it for the last 9 years, maybe. I think we've been doing it. And so we wanted to continue with that. We have in the past had a connection with the veterans, and they would give us names of folks. But because of COVID, that hasn't happened this year. And then there's been a changeover too in the veterans office. So we just do the best that we can to get the food out to. It's really a good meal for the folks that are in the housing and that are receiving Meals on Wheels.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Carla, did you have anything to add?
Yes, I just wanted to mention in the statistics, it does list Shine Counseling, and ordinarily that scheduling takes place with our receptionists. But because the receptionists are not here on a regular basis and don't have access to town phones, I have assumed that role. So even though there shows no appointments, if you will, for October, there really was. So I will be sure that when we do our statistics for November, I will include those numbers.
Okay.
Are you
good.
actually doing Shine meetings at the center?
No, they're actually just a phone meeting. So
I didn't hear.
the senior calls in, and their name and number gets relayed to me, and then I put them on a schedule that has been established by the counselor, and then I email the counselor her schedule. And right now, the appointments are Mondays and Wednesdays for half-hour increments in the mornings.
Okay. But they
Caller,
were
are
in
you
person.
connected on more than one source?
Well, Irene's using my phone, and she's sitting across from me, so.
Because I'm getting a lot of feedback, and I'm seeing different lights popping up on my screen, like you have more than one mic.
One of them should move away from the other one.
Yeah, that Irene just did.
Okay, that's better.
She's more mobile because she's on my cell phone.
Oh, okay. Are you seeing any change in like your work, like as outreach manager during this pandemic?
I unfortunately, because I can't do the home visits, it's really difficult. If I am doing any kind of consulting at all, it would strictly be on the phone. And most of that, I don't have to be here at the center to do that. But I haven't seen necessarily an uptick, but that's not to say that it isn't being felt by a lot of our seniors who are, feeling the strain of being isolated. So,
And if I could add, I think that's why the food distribution site is so important, because we're getting visuals on people. When we fill the van up with food, we park in front of the community room, and seniors come out to us and we hand a bag to them. And it's a way of us making the connection with people in housing and seeing what's going on there. And we're just reinforcing that we're here if they need us.
Okay. Irene, you had sent me an email asking if you could have something on the agenda related to Leah.
Yes.
You want to do that?
Well, I sent you a copy of the, Leah was nominated to a Latino caucus group through the State House, and she is representing the community in that, and we're very proud of her, and that she was chosen by Representative Tam, and hopefully that, that will help us. I mean, it has been very helpful to have Leah in the office because of, we do have a lot of folks that come in that do not speak English, and so working with her has been amazing to be able to help and support the members that are living in this community. And we have seen that on our food drives, that people that come to the door are definitely needing food, and we don't ask any questions. They just say that they need food, and we ask how many members in their family, and we make them up bags to get out. But we were very happy with Leah's nomination, and it was mentioned at the selectmen's meeting last Monday night regarding that. So, but Leah unfortunately wasn't feeling well today and couldn't be on. So.
Okay. Thank you. That's
You're
nice
welcome.
news.
Yeah, I think so.
One thing I forgot to mention, just going back where we had, we'll talk about the nominating committee and welcoming Joe. Just to remind everybody, we still have 3 vacancies at the moment on our council. And I know we had talked at the last meeting that there was a feeling it would be helpful if we had someone on the council with some knowledge, expertise in social work or psychology that would be helpful to us to have that kind of a voice in thinking as we're looking ahead and doing plannings for the Council of Aging. So
I know we're talking to Deanna, who we do work very close with, who is the community service person for social services. And she is definitely inundated by folks that are having problems. A lot of them are seniors. And that is definitely over our head as far as what we can do. We're a referral agency here, but we do make the referrals to her or to Elder Services. And we just do the best we can with folks. The staff is currently making phone calls to everybody, and that we have on our phone list that we can reach out to. We did see a lot of them on the days that we were in here when they were doing voting. A lot of the seniors came through and were delighted to see us. So, and of course, the first question they ask is, when will the senior center open? And it's just not even possible at this time, especially with the current situation that's happening and the outbreaks that are going on. It just would take one person to bring down the whole senior center.
Larry, this is Joe. A person that does have some social background, and she is acquainted with the center, is Debbie Hope. We did a press release on her. She ran a program on over 50 recruiting for the senior center. And I know she lives in North Andover, and I know her practice is also in North Andover. So someone might, whoever reached out to her to get the program going. Might want to see if she might be interested in joining the group.
Good.
Okay, that's a lead to check out. Thank you.
Maria, that's your committee.
Yeah. All right, Joe, while you were talking, you mentioned you'd like to do an update on Board of Health.
Yes. The focus primarily on the coronavirus. Stats as of yesterday in Massachusetts, the 7-day average is 1,571 cases a day. And that's an increase of 68% from 2 weeks ago. And furthermore, deaths have increased about 19% since that time. And as a result, the governor has tightened up on regulations, which I'll discuss. Specific numbers here in Massachusetts as of last week, the total coronavirus cases, 730, active 67, recovered 618, and deaths 45. And as we know, the deaths are primarily, although not exclusively, with people that are physically impaired. So we have new coronavirus regulations. Governor Baker has mandated this past Friday. I want to quickly go over them because it does concern us. Obviously, limited outdoor gatherings to no more than 25 people, and indoor gatherings to no more than 10. Now that excludes churches. Churches, I believe, are at 40% of capacity. That excludes churches. Early closing, that is 9:30 at night. Certain businesses such as restaurants, North Andover, Fuddruckers, they closed because of the virus. Frederick's Pastries, they closed because of the virus. And unfortunately, I think it's only going to get worse. There was a stay-at-home order between 10 at night and 5 in the morning. That excludes people traveling and excludes emergency employees. People over 5 years old must wear masks in public, whether indoors or outdoors, even when able to maintain a. Let me give an example. Here in North Andover, Wire Hill Reservation, 194 acres. If you were walking in that reservation right now by yourself and there's no one else there, you have to wear a mask. The old downtown section of North Andover, where many of us jog or walk around, I've noticed that most of the people there this past week had their mask on, not all of them. However, on the benches in that reservation, on the benches inside that common area, a lot of people who were not eating did not have their mask on. I saw the same thing in Newburyport along the boardwalk. A lot of people did not have their mask on. So I'm telling you, you have to wear your mask. If you don't wear the mask, you're eligible. You can be fined up to $500. A couple other things I want to go over. We had a special Board of Health meeting less than 2 weeks ago to discuss the mandatory participation in infectious disease isolation, quarantine, and contact tracing. I won't read it to you because of time, but basically I am going to highlight it. And again, this is promulgated by the state, but written particularly by our Department of Health, and it has to be voted on by the board after discussed. But any person who has been contacted by the North Andover Health Department who has tested positive for COVID-19 or been diagnosed with another reportable infectious disease, that's not cold, shall isolate for a set period of time as determined by the North Andover Health Department. Typically, that's 2 weeks. Also, any person contacted by the health department must names, addresses, and telephone numbers of all individuals with whom they have been in close contact during their infectious period, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There is some good news out there. If you take a look at people that have been hospitalized going back to, I believe, March, 25% of them died. Right now, it's about 7%. Also, Pfizer just announced that the approval for their vaccine appears to be imminent. There could be partial distribution as early as later this year, particularly for those that are most vulnerable, such as us seniors and emergency personnel. So that is really, really good news. There are a lot of other vaccines that are being worked on right now, but Pfizer seems to be in the lead. So we will see what happens. And that's it.
Anybody have any questions? Comments?
That's a good report.
Good. Thank you, Joe. Anybody have any other reports, business questions, comments?
It's Irene. Hi. Joe, I was wondering if you'd be willing to do another article on our food distribution.
No.
Come on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at the center sometime this week?
Yes, I will.
All right,
Well,
we'll get together.
tomorrow's Veterans Day, so we're going to be in, but we're going to be out distributing and doing food, food services. But
all right, I'll get together with you sometime. All right, I'll be down. I'll be down on Thursday.
Yeah, you have my cell number?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay. All right. You just give me a call because we have to authorize you to come in. You just can't walk in the building.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we lost our contact at the Tribune when they went through their personnel cutting issues. So we're going to have to indoctrinate a new reporter. So it might take a little bit longer. Yeah, Paul's gone. Paul got.
Oh my goodness, he's been there forever.
Who's that, Paul Tennant?
Yeah, Paul Tennant's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
And it wasn't very. It wasn't a very auspicious departure either. There was some, they tried to reduce his hours. Actually, they did not try to. I think the last story he did was the story we did on you, Irene. And right after that, they cut his time down to 3 days a week. And he couldn't handle it. And so now the last, I heard we're going to have to work with Mike LaBella, who is generally the Havel reporter. So we'll see how it is. All right, I'll come in on Thursday, and I won't keep the council on this. All right, and we'll work on it.
Okay, great.
Nice talking to you. Okay.
You too, Joe. You know that.
Okay.
That's good. Irene, I don't know remember whether you said it earlier or not, but if you repeat it, what is the possibilities for having some real meetings in the senior center, either small groups or committees, or is that possible or not possible in town hall now?
Not possible at this time because we went right back to a complete shutdown. And all I can have is staff in the building, and we're even questioning having the Meals on Wheels gentlemen in here too. So I will let you know we were open before to doing it. I mean, if it's a nice day, we could have a meeting outside, but not inside.
Are you still is the accidental food bank still in operation, Irene?
No, it has not been. It hasn't. They stepped away early after COVID hit. They weren't getting the food supplies that were coming in before because everything was going off the shelves.
Right, yeah.
So, it just changed that, and I'm not sure really what's happening there.
Okay.
So we're doing very well here with the food, and the community is still being amazing. And I had a young man named Abbott was his last name, Brian Abbott, I believe it is, and he is doing a food drive through the communities. And all the food is going to be donated to the senior center. So we sent him our list that just went out, and it was just posted, our new list for food, you know, and so we're doing what we can to make a difference. I think Thanksgiving's going to be different for a lot of people. I wish we could say we'd be cooking all the turkeys here and bagging them up to get out to people, but it's impossible. It's an impossible project at this point of time. We are getting through Shirley Chow, who's in charge of the commodities that come into Boston. We're going to be getting 25 boxes. Each of them are 30 pounds each. And they will, they're supposedly mainly for families, but we're going to break up the boxes and see if we can get food out to folks. And what we really look for with seniors is smaller containers, like a quart of milk rather than a gallon of milk, you know, because it's difficult for them just to lift that big bottle, you know. So that's where we are. We did, I put in through capital improvement for a new van this year, and they have accepted the contract that I wrote up. So we'll be hearing about that, whether it goes, I think it will be approved because the van that we're retiring is a 2006. And it's the undercarriage is worn, and it's just New England weather. It does a number on vans.
Yeah.
Larry, I have multiple questions.
Sure.
So Irene, I have to back up a couple steps for our minutes. This is Tracy. So a gentleman, Joe, asked about an article. So what is the article for? Where does it get distributed, and what is the purpose of it?
The article would be in the Tribune. It would be to let folks know that we are still here. It's regarding our food program here.
Okay, like where people will come in and pick up food, or I mean, deliver food?
We do deliver food, but we do encourage people to come to our door, and we will make them up a bag. If they want to make a list, we'll give them everything we have that's on the list if we have it.
Okay, great. And then you mentioned something about a community food drive via Brian such and such.
Yes.
Who is that, and what does that work, and where is that?
He's a young man that contacted me and said he was going to do a food drive for over this Christmas season, and he'd be having the food come in. I'm not sure where he's from the area, and I think he's doing it for a project. So he just asked me for a list of all the different types of food we need, and he said that he would be delivering it to us mid-December.
And then one last question for clarity of the minutes. You just said you put in a capital improvement for a new van, and you believe it's been accepted.
Capital improvement request through the town. So that's if it would be an example of capital improvement would be if the fire department needed a new fire truck, or the police department needed a new car, or they were putting new foundation in the library area, or something like that. The money comes through capital improvement, but you have to put in a request every year for something if you're, you know, and it has to exceed a certain amount for the town to consider it.
And then it's voted on from the Board of Selectmen?
It's the town manager. I'm sure the Board of Selectmen do vote on it, but it's through finances.
Okay, those are my questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I guess, Irene, you're still accepting food donations and stuff from the public?
Absolutely, absolutely. Our
And do they
brown
come
box
in
is still out front.
So they just
About
drop it in
that.
a box? Drop it in a box outside?
Out back, in the back parking lot, there's a big brown storage bin, and people have been leaving it there. Or if we're here, we're usually here from 8:30ish to 2:30, 3 o'clock every day, and people can come to the side door. But because of all the construction that's going on the roof, they're doing over the whole roof in Town Hall and in the senior center. So because of that, a lot of the doors are locked off, so we never know in the morning which door is going to be the access door for in and out.
Any items in particular that you need or are hard to get?
Oh, actually, it's right now, I think pasta sauce, for just small cans of pasta sauce. But we put out a request for like raviolis and beef stew and hearty soups and things like that, that people can make a meal out of, you know. And we have a lot of tuna fish here. We probably have, I don't know, 50, 60 cans of tuna fish and cans of shredded white chicken. And we have everything. We look like we look like a little department store right now. We did look like Market Basket before, but now we're down to a limited amount of items.
Okay, good, thank you. I'd say on my clock, we're just about at the 10 o'clock hour. I think that kind of means we will not be doing the self-introductions at this meeting of the rest of us. Does anybody have any other comments, questions, business they think needs to come up?
I was just going to ask if Joe Nahill would like to my nominating.
Would like what?
Oh, Joe, he's laughing. If he would like to join my nominating committee.
I think we need Joe on the marketing committee.
Right, I think Joe
But
is
you
on
can
the
be on more
marketing
than one.
committee.
We can talk about that.
I'll help you wherever I can, Maria.
Joe, I'll send you information on how the organization that we've started has been going, and you can look it over and we can all talk a little bit more.
Wonderful.
And Larry, I will get you a copy of the Friends of the North Andover Senior Center bylaws.
Great, that'd be good.
And Irene,
Yeah.
send that to me as well. This
Okay,
is
I
the-
don't have it on my computer. I just have to do copies of it. It was done in 2002.
Ooh, okay.
Okay,
If you send it to me, I can scan it and send it to Larry.
Yep, that would be great. I could scan it to you too.
okay, so if there is no other business, then
I
anybody-
have one question. I have one quick thing, Larry.
Go ahead.
Would we possibly want to entertain doing our meeting from 8:30 to 10? I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm fine with that.
I'm
I mean,
fine
going
with
forward, just because, when we get through the technology difficulties and this and that, we miss a lot of time. But maybe you can just do a poll via email and see what everyone thinks. I'm just throwing that out there.
I could do that. I could send out a memo asking people, and Irene, Carly, you can think about that too. Would that have any impact on you folks and the staff?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah, I think, I don't know why today, but there was a big update done to the name frame. So it could have something with we had the difficulties today. I'm not sure. I'll ask
Yeah.
Brian what was going on.
we'll have to look at that and make sure everything's gonna be good for the next meeting.
Yeah, sounds good.
So then, would someone like to move we adjourn?
Okay, I'll move we adjourn.
I'll second,
Okay. All in
and I'll
favor?
second.
All right, everybody, we'll see you in December.